This video I'm going to entitle Ghost Tilt, and let me show you what I mean. This is what we're going to do. So here we have a little Pac-Man ghost here, and if you tilt the screen to the left, you see he will fall off the screen to the left. Then if I hit the A button, he'll come back, and then if I tilt the screen to the right, you see he will fall off the screen to the right, and I hit the A button and he comes back. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. This will involve doing loops and conditionals. If you're into the coding piece of it, it will show the kids how to do things repeatedly, and it will also show them how to make things happen based on something happening, some input, some condition in the environment that changes. So let's get to it. As usual, I'm going to start you off with the blank browser. I'm going to type in make code. There, choose the make code here. Go to the micro bit. It will open up, and I will hit new project, and I will call this Ghost Tilt. I'll call it version 2 since I already have a version 1. Coming in again, have to add my extension, so I'll choose to go up here and do it. Once again, could have chosen this button here to do it. Same screen. I'll go up here and do it there, and then I will put in the URL. Once again, you get the URL. Let's see if I have it. I have it open right here. So you go to this Google Doc or this Google Drive folder, how to install PixelBox make code. Click on that. You get this page here, and you go down here and you can copy paste this URL, and you copy paste that into here, and then hit enter. Oh, that didn't work. Let's get it right. Do that, hit enter, and then my PixelBox extension comes up here. I click it, and then now I have my PixelBox drawer in my tools area here. Okay, so we've done that. This is like the 4th time we've done that. Look at previous videos if you're still shaky, or slow it down and go back. But hopefully that will become common practice for you and your students. Now we're going to do the basics again. We're going to, whoops, that's the wrong button. Go to PixelBox. That is so wrong. We're going to go to Advanced, then Functions, and we're going to make a function here. And we're going to start with show. I'm going to say show ghost, and then hit done. Once again, a function is a collection of instructions, and so we're going to make a collection of instructions to be able to show our ghost. We're going to start, we need a memory location to hold our ghost, so we're going to start with variables, and we're going to make a variable, and we're going to call it ghost. Hit OK, and then we need to set that. We need to set a value in that memory location ghost. Right now, it's setting it to the number 0. We want to set it. We want to create an image, so we want to put an image in there. So we're going to create an image, and we're going to call that ghost. There we go. So that now sets up a memory location that has an image called ghost in it, but now we have to actually make that image. So we'll go back to PixelBox and we'll build our image row by row, and that's just the nature of how we have to do it right now. Maybe we can get make code to help us make some blocks that make this a little bit easier, but for right now this is what we have to do. So I'm going to set my ghost. Now I'm going to set, knowing what my end image looks like, I could go in here and design this. Once again, let's take a step here to talk about design. I'm going to use, if you watched the 3rd video about the design tools, it was the 3rd or 4th video about design tools. If I go back here, we have a URL. This will get you to a URL called, I need to make that a link. Let's do that. Let's make this a link here. Oops. Make this a link, the whole thing. There we go. All right. So yeah, going to this URL, copy paste that in my browser. This is just a design tool. You could use the sheets. You can use the trays. I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to sketch out my ghost here. Now I've done this before, so don't be the least bit impressed by how quickly I do this. In fact, I have it up on another screen, and so I can see this, so this video goes a little bit more smoothly. Put an eye in there, an eyeball in there, then, oops, wrong color, purple. Let's go here. There we go. Nope, that's wrong. Come back, get rid of that. So you may want your students to use this tool when their images get a little bit more complex, when they have to think about things a little bit more. But as you can see, my ghost image, I just decided to use a purple ghost. My ghost image is mostly purple, right? And then, you know, my background here is white. Usually when I use the PixelBox, the background is black. So I did all that to sort of show you that, okay, my background's mostly purple. So when I do my design here, it makes sense that if it's mostly purple, why don't I make, before I duplicate all these rows, if you've watched me do this in the past, before I duplicate all these rows, it makes sense, why don't I make them all purple? That way I save myself some clicks in the long run. So let's do that. And then now let's go to duplicate, and let's get ourselves 8 rows going here. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we have to, they're all named ghosts, that's good. Then we have to number them properly, so that's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. All right, computers start counting at 0, that's why we go 0 to 7 here. And now let us not forget the show image block at the bottom, because if we don't put that there, it will not show up. So now that gives us a purple. Now it makes it a little bit easier. If I go back to my diagram here, now I just punch out the parts that aren't purple, right? And so in this case, all the parts that aren't purple will be black. So I'll make this one black here, that one. So it's just a little bit, I think, a little bit easier way to do it. However, you can do it any way you want to. Let's put, let's see, dot, dot. This eye is black. This eye is black. And then the rest of these are white. Oops. Messed that up. Oh well, no biggie. Do that there. Yeah, do that there. That there. And then come down here. Make that one black. Make that one black. Make that one black. Okay, so that's our ghost. Right? And this is why we provide different design tools, because students may not be able to see it this way, and so it makes it a little bit easier. So that's our ghost. All right. So what we're going to do is when we start this up, we want to show the ghost. So let's go down here to function and put call show ghost into the start. So that will show the ghost when we start, which is great. Now we want to do some stuff when we tilt it. Okay. So now we go to our input block, because tilting is input. It's a change in the environment. In fact, before we even do that, let's make sure we can always get our ghost back on the screen by putting, when they click the A button, we also want to show the ghost. So I'll duplicate that, put that here. So if you push the A button, you show the ghost, and the ghost will show on start too. This way, when we tilt the ghost off the screen, then we can always get it back by hitting the A button. Okay. Let me move this over a little bit. Then the other input we want to do is this on shake input, but we're going to change the shake to tilt. And you have a whole bunch of stuff you can play with, and I'm sure the students will play with a lot. These last 4, free fall, and then 3Gs, 6Gs, and 8Gs, that's a level of impact. Let's try to stay away from those, because the PixelBox, may break if you bump it too much. But we're going to use the left tilt and right tilt, so let's do right tilt first. So on right tilt, what do we want to do? We want the ghost to move off the screen. We want it to move 8 pixels to the right. Okay? We can do that a couple of ways. We can come in here and we can do, we can say set the image. Oh, that's the wrong one, I'm sorry. We come in here and do an offset and say we want our ghost, when it comes in and you hit this, we want it to offset 1, and then we're going to make it pause. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, I got them backwards. There we go. We're going to make it pause for a millisecond, or excuse me, for 1/10 of a second, 100 milliseconds. Then we can duplicate that and then make it move over 2 from its original position, and then duplicate that. Right? And we could do this all the way down to offsetting it 8, and that would make it run off the end of the screen. Right? So that's one way we could do it, but that's a lot of blocks to do. There's a faster way to do it if we do it. If we use these things called loops. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and show you the long way so that you can have an appreciation for using loops here. And you may want to take your students through this lesson as well. And then I wanted to step 3 off, and then 4 from its original position, duplicate, put this here, make it 5 from its original position, and then pause. Oops. You can go here. And then duplicate 6 from its original position, and then duplicate the pause. I'm going to move the forever block out of the way so I have more room here. Then we're going to duplicate, do 7 steps from its original position, and pause, and then we'll duplicate, and we'll do 8 steps from its original position. Right? Now, what we also need to do is we need to make sure we clear it, because if not, we're going to have a trail of pixels that don't get covered up as it goes. So we're going to do clear image. So I'm going to show it for a second, then clear it, then show it again with it moved, and then we're just going to duplicate that clearing all the way down. So that way we don't have trailing pixels left on the screen. And if you know, I'm showing you the clear thing. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't, depending on how your image is situated. But if you get it so that when you're moving your image, it's leaving pixel trails behind, then you use the clear image function or block to make that go away. All right? And so this would work. So this will cause it to tilt. Let me, I guess, go out like that. So that's a lot of code. Let's go ahead and download this and see if we get the same thing going here. Or tilt it. Oop, you didn't see that. Let me share my screen here. Move that over. Do this. All right. So when I tilt my screen here, it goes off the page. Right? And when I click the A, it works that way. When I tilt it to the right, nothing happens. When I tilt it to the left, nothing happens now because I haven't set the left yet on this code. Right? So nothing's happening tilting left. But tilting right, he does run off the page. All right. Before we do the left, let me show you how to simplify this a little bit, because that's big. So let's take all of this and move this over. And what I'm going to do is I use this for motivation. In fact, let me clean up, let me tidy up a bit here. Put that there. Since we don't need to see that again, I'm going to click, go in, click that. That'll shrink that down. Then I can move this back over here. There we go. Now let's tidy up a bit here, and then put my A here. All right. So now instead of doing it this way with all these lines of code, which is perfectly fine, we can make the computer repeat the same lines of code. We can make it repeat and then increment the offset by 1 each time. right? And so we do that using what's called a loop. So if I hit the loop here and I get the for loop and I click that there, this says for index. There's a variable called index, and it's going to go from the value from 0 to some value that we set here. Right now it's 4. If I click on that, I'm going to change that to 8. And that's going to say we're going to start with 0, and then we're going to do this thing 8 times. All right? So what I want to do is I just want to take these 3 blocks of code and repeat them 8 times. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this one, duplicate my pause, and then duplicate my clear. Oops, grab it, got it. Okay, now with just those blocks of code, I can make the same thing happen just by putting it inside this for loop, right? But the only thing I have to change is instead of offset x offset being 1 each time, I want it to be the value of index each time, right? And so every time through the loop, index is going to be, the first time through the loop is going to go to 0, then it's going to be 1, then it's going to be 2, then it's going to be 3, then it's going to be 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8. And so what I want to do is put that value here, right? And I put that value there. And so now instead of me having to type it in every time, like I did when I did this big long one, right? The computer's going to do it for me because I put it inside of this for loop. And that's the power of a for loop, is it allows me to repeat code. So when I'm solving problems with computers, I'm always looking for times when I can bundle up stuff and then repeat them and maybe just change a few things. And that's an ideal time to use something like a for loop. Okay, so now if I download this, we should get the same effect. If all things went well. All right, I downloaded it. There's my ghost. He's back, right? And so when I tilt it right, he does run off the screen, right? And then back to A. And then if I tilt it left, he doesn't move yet, but we'll code that one next. Once again, tilting it right, he runs off the screen. Okay? All right. So let's do the tilt left. Now, tilt left, we got to do a little bit of math here. So, but let's first of all copy this. We're doing the same thing. We're just tilting left. So let's copy it or duplicate it and then make it tilt left. So since we already have a tilt right, you see it's all grayed out here because we already have a tilt right. So I chose a tilt left and now it shows back up. So we're defining this for tilt left. Now, what I think is a bit of an issue with this make block is that you can only make index go from 0 to something, right? I can't make it go like from 8 to negative or something like that. So I have to sort of do some math here to make this work, right? And so instead of stepping in the positive direction, I want to go in the negative direction, right? But index is going to be a positive number. No, wait a minute. I think if I put a negative here, it'll be okay. I didn't do that in rehearsal. So let's try 0 to -8 and see if this works. That should work. And then we don't have to do all the machinations that I did in my rehearsal thing. Yeah, we should be able to go from 0 to -8, and that will move him left. So let's give that a try. Cool thing about computers is it doesn't cost you but a little bit of time to give it a try, right? All right, so I downloaded it, and there's my ghost. He's back. All right. Oh, he went away. What happened? Uh-oh. A power got loose there. Oh, my power jiggled loose. So this will happen with students. I have a bad power USB cable on this one. The ones we provided in camp are newer. Let me download it again and get it back going. Hopefully it'll come back up. There he is. Okay. So now let us tilt right, make sure that's still working. Yep, there he goes. He tilted off the screen. And let's tilt left. Look, I got to bring him back up. So I hit A. Hit the A button. Oh, I am really losing it with this power supply. Okay, hold up. Let me download it one more time. And your students may have these problems too. You need a better cable. I think I just need a better power cable. That or my PixelBox is getting tired of me. Could be. It's been a long day. Okay, so let's plug this back in. A little bit better. Let's try it again. All right, he's back up. All right, if I tilt right, there he goes off the screen there. I hit A, get him back up, and then when I tilt left, he's not going anywhere. Okay. He's not going anywhere. Okay. So let's see what's wrong with this code and why it's not working. 0 to -8. Huh. I do not know. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't allow us to index in the negative direction, which that seems weird, but maybe that's the case. Now there's another way around this. So if I go from 0 to 8, but I want this to be a negative number here, then I just multiply it by -1, right? And then that will turn into a negative number. So depending on the kids that you're talking to and their level of math, this is someplace you can go with them. All right, so to do that, I'm going to take my index out, and I'm going to go to the math drawer here and go to the multiplication block. I'm going to drop that in there, and then I'm going to take the index and I'll multiply it by -1. Right? So instead of going from 0 to -8, I'm going to go from 0 to 8, but I'm going to multiply it by -1 each time, and then that will effectively go from 0 to -8. Like I said, I got some problems. I think this should be a little bit better up in here, but let's see if this works. This is the code that actually worked in rehearsal. Oh, all right, so let's go here. Why is my screen now green? That's not good. I think my whole computer's getting tired of me now. All right, so let's go right again. That's working. Let's get him back up on the screen with pushing A, and then let's go left, and there he goes off the left side, right? And then let's get him back up and do it again. And why is he not running off the left side this time? There he goes, off the left side. All right, so that's all getting a little tired now. There he goes, he's back up. Okay, I think my problem is because I have a bad USB cable here on the side. I need to use a better cable. All right, so this is a way to get your students to have their drawings interact with the world as they make their PixelBox move left or right or what have you. And like I said, you can experiment with all these movements here. I would just be careful. The free fall implies that they drop it, and these three down here, 3G, 6G, and 8G, imply that they bump it against something. So maybe we don't do that. Maybe we just let them shake it. But there you go. So there's an example of ghost tilt. I think I have one more video in me, and they're more art, or two, but they're more artistic in nature. I'm just going to show you how I made some art just to sort of prompt your students' creativity. But that's the end of this one. Thank you again for teaching and being a part of our camps. And as usual, go Jackets.